I've had several questions recently in the comments section about people that live near airports and they're looking up and they're seeing that the airplanes are spaced out and they're wondering how far out are those airplanes actually spaced. Well, let me give you a quick rundown on the different scenarios about and how far out airplanes get spaced. If it's a what's called a VFR day, completely clear, kind of like we are here on the cruise today, then they'll put the airplanes much closer together. I want to say the spacing is about 2.5 miles at the closest. Sometimes when we're going into London or some of the more busy airports, I can look out on my scope and I can see where the other airplanes are in front of me. And about as close as I get is about 2.5 miles. It takes time for them to touch down on the runway, to slow down and to taxi off. And we want to give them enough time to be able to do that before I need to touch down on that same runway. But at London, sometimes I've been cleared to land at 500 feet above the runway, which is really only 30 to 45 seconds away from touching down. So they thread the needle there. It's not unsafe. It's as close as we can get and still maintain a margin of safety. Now, when the weather is not as good, they will space out the airplanes. And I know sometimes when the weather is really poor and there's zero visibility or close to zero visibility in the airport, they space the airplanes out at about 20 miles. Now that's really a lot of spacing, but they give you a ton of room to get in and get off that runway before the next airplane comes in. So sometimes you'll be sitting at an airport and the weather will be fine. And the captain will come on and say, well, folks, we're on a ground hold for the airport that we're going to. And you're looking out going, what do you mean? And he'll say, well, it's the weather at our destination airport. And then you get on your text and you look up the weather and you go, well, there's no weather between here and there. Well, there's weather there. And the reason that they hold you on the ground back here is because they're spacing out the airplanes on the other end. What they don't want to do is they don't want to get you airborne and then have to put everybody in holding. It burns up a lot of gas, it saves a lot of time. And if you can't hold as long as they need you to, then you got to divert to go someplace else. Ain't nobody got time for that, right? So they keep you now on the ground. It's a kind of an innovation of the modern age of flying. In the old days, they used to just launch everybody, put them in holding, and then you divert it all over the place. That doesn't happen anymore. They keep you on the ground. So at the maximum 20 miles in trail spacing is what they call it. If the weather's bad, it can get up to close as 2.5 miles when they're threading the needle at a large airport. All of it is safe, and I've done it all. So folks, there you go. There's your answer. If you look up in the sky and you see the airplanes one after another, it's probably a pretty nice day. If you look up in the sky and you don't see anything, probably because it's overcast and you can't see an airplane in the clouds. There's your official answer. All right, now you know. I'm Captain Steve. If I say, wait, don't go yet. Do me a favor. Become Captain Steve's new best friend. Hit the like button, share, and subscribe.